Hi guys, thanks for watching. What I thought we'd do at the start of, well they're not really lessons, start of these videos, I would do a wee bit of, at the beginning of them, all of them, going through all the different keys again, just so, again you're more liable to come across the keys that we're going to be using here. And we've done F before, and I play a lot of Latin music and a lot of that's in F. But we'll go to B flat. B flat, as I said before, if you're asked to sit beside a lot of other musicians, piano players or company singers and things like this, B flat's one of the most common keys they'll automatically go to. So I'm pretty sure you'll know all this, but we'll just do a very quick run through it, and then I'll do a wee bit through its relative minor as well. So B flat, okay? Every chance I get when I'm playing sort of music that I like, rather than play a straight chord like B flat here, on 6th position, I'll play a B flat major 7th, or a B flat major 9th, just to try and give it a wee different feel, okay? Common chords, okay. As you know, the most common chords are 1, 4, 5, so in B flat it's B flat, E flat, F 7th, which is usually a dominant 7th, but not always, and back to the B flat. The other most common chords that I've come across, you don't often get in books, is quite often the diminished chord follows it, and the diminished chord is usually a semitone up or a half step up. So, and how it's really cool for us to go from that major 7th shape to the diminished a half step up. All you're doing is moving your second finger over to name the diminished chord you're wanting. So there's B flat there, and I'm just moving this over to the B because, as I say, it's usually a half step up. Now the next most common chord in that sequence is a minor second. We're in B flat, so that makes it C minor, then back to the 5th. So you have B flat, B diminished, C minor, F 7th. The other most common chord you come across is the minor 6th, which is G minor. Okay, in rare occasions I've seen that being a dominant 7th, but just think of it as the minor first. So that's your most common chords. You've got the 1, 4, 5, look out for that diminished, it's a half step up. I can think of quite a lot of songs that's got that. The minor second and the minor 6th in B flat. Remember how we did Mac the Knife and it was the same 1, minor second, 5th, back to the tonic, to the 6th, to the 2nd, to the 5th, to the 1st. And I told you when we change keys, that's what we do. At least that's what I do. I think of the pattern. And I showed you that dodge before. If you're going from one key to the other and a tune like Mac the Knife, what you do is you go to the 5th of the next key and play that chord as a dominant 7th. So say for example, as you know, in B flat, right, and I need to go to C. Well, I think my 1, 4, 5 in C, the 5th in C is G7, so I'd use that as a bridging chord. Then on the melody again. I'll do that quickly again. So in B flat. So, and we want to change it to C, so we'll use that bridging chord we're into here. G7th, the 5th. Then we're away. If you were doing that in a slow tune, by the way, I'll show you how I learned to do that was not through books or other musicians. I used to sometimes get asked to play with a lot of traditional musicians years and years ago, and a lot of Scottish traditional music, Irish too. I'll start in a key, like so I'll start in G and I'll play the melody, and then the melody will get played again in D, usually goes to the 5th, and that's what they would do. The accordion player or whatever, the next key that they were going to, he'd play the dominant 7th chord and it would come in. So example, if they're in G like that, to get into D7 to play a big chord in accordion, and then we're in the D. So that's, just remember that in the back of your mind. Changing keys plays the 5th. What I do again, this is just me, is if I'm changing it like that, and rather than just going right into the 5th, if it's a lovely slow ballad, I'll play the minor second and then the 5th, okay? So, say example again, we're in B flat there, and I want to change the key into C. So what I'll do is, well, rather than just playing the 5th chord, which is a G, I'll play the minor second of that key, and then the 5th, so you get this B flat, D minor, and then that brings him in, Anyhow, that's just the wee stuff by and by. So we've done B flat before. All I would say to you guys is what I've said before: if there's a tune you're really familiar playing in an open position, try it in B flat, because it's one of the most common keys you'll be asked to play in. Now, B flat's relative minor key is G minor, right? And actually G minor is used a lot in guitar tunes, and because it's actually quite an easy key for us to play in. 1, 4, 5 in G minor is, as you know, G minor, C minor, D7th, and back to the G minor. And there was a reason why I played D7th in that shape, and I'll show you in a wee minute thing as well. So what you should do, again, is still it's a tune you're really familiar with, like Summertime, okay? Rather than doing it in A minor, try doing it in G minor. Just as a matter of interest, I was watching a sort of live jazz session on the internet with a top range singer, and she was saying to the musicians, okay, right, we'll do Summertime next, and they're going, that's fine. And they said, what's your best key for singing it? And her key was B flat minor. So I guess that's how you got to remember all these 1, 4, 5s, you know, that's how you've got to keep these things in your head, because you can never know what you'll get asked. Anyhow, G minor. As I say, it's a good key for us guys, because G minor, the only chord you really have to watch out for if you're not really familiar with this sort of thing is the C minor. Because that's when the 2 flats really come and bite you. You get 2 flats key signature for B flat, which is, you know, B flat and the E flat. So every time, say like I'm playing the minor 7th there, there's a B flat in the 3rd string, and there's the E flat on the B string. It's just when you're dizzying about in the guitar, just watch out for that. So again, rather than a tune like Summertime, rather than playing it in your normal A minor, try it in G minor. And as you know, I'll use this chord. So I'm flying up and down, it's a flat 7th. Rather than flying up and down, just holding the 1 G minor chord, as you should say. I'm moving up and down between the A, but that's just me. So, but I'll do it properly, I'll do it the G minor here. So you get the melody here. So you get the G minor and the D7th here. But what I do to make it a wee bit different, so there's the D7th, I'll bring the D up a wee bit, okay? To give it a flat 9th. And I can resolve it again. It's actually quite a common chord, that. And bring it back. So it goes G minor, as you know, for the first part. Then the D7th, back to the G minor. Then the C minor. Add a D diminished there just to make it a wee bit awkward. Then it's an E flat 7th. Then back to D7th. Then the same thing again. The final bit at the end, this is where you have to start thinking, because it goes back to its relative major, B flat to G minor, minor 6, then E flat to the D and back to the G minor. So anyhow, that's a thing to bear in mind. B flat's relative minor is G minor. And as I say, that's what to do. Play a tune you're really familiar, like Summertime, but rather than playing it A minor, play it in G minor. Always start off with the chords. I mean, I'm not going to sing the internet, but you can sing yourself to keep it going. And you can work out a guitar solo out it as well. But just so you're familiar with going up and down these keys, because they really are the keys they'll ask you to play these things in. Right, what I'm going to finish off with here is taking a tune and how I worked some of the chords out for it. And to let you understand, as you can probably tell, I've played guitar for a long, long time, just to let you know where I'm coming from. As I say, I was a long time in classical guitar, did a lot of stuff in rock bands, but I was a lot of traditional music as well, but I was never a jazz player. I've never qualified myself as a jazz player. What I do, as I told you, like, hopefully like yourself, is I love some of these beautiful old songs and old tunes, the American songbook. I love those. But my real thing is, when I'm out playing, if I'm asked to do solo stuff, is Latin guitar. I love playing Latin style music on guitar, like all the music that have been. All the great Brazilian guitarists, Jan Gilberto, Louis Bonfa and Baden Powell, all their music they all wrote, and I love playing all their tunes. And that's my comfort zone, and I'm quite good that I've been doing that for years, so I'm quite familiar with that kind of music, the different rhythms, so that's my real thing. So when I show you things, it's not from a jazz point of view, it's not any jazz bible, it's just what I do, Like I showed you all the turnarounds that I do. It's just the way that I do, and if I'm playing a tune, it's just what I do. So I briefly touched this on a lesson ages ago, but I'll show you again. You can get a better idea of the sort of thing I do when I'm trying to develop a tune. So say for example, the green sleeves. Now the traditional sound in a green sleeve is. Okay, so what I do is I'll play the chord to try and get a feel of it. So obviously it's the E minor. And I'll try different E minor chords. The tune starts to that B. Okay, can I get a chord against that B? So as you're listening to it, you can feel there's another chord coming in there. It does sound like an E7th, but I'll add the B on it. And then I can hear D major 7th coming. Normally it comes, the first part of the tune will end up in an E minor, but I like ending up in a B minor because there's a D there. So instead of having, I've got play octaves, play the right octaves. So that's a B minor 7th. Then it goes, I can hear a turnaround there. So that's the C sharp minor 7 flat 5, and I'm using it as a pivot. I'm pivoting my left hand there to get that G there. So there's a chord there. I need that G. Rather than taking my hand off, I can just pivot my left hand to hit that G. Then of course as well, no minor 7's resolve. Minor 7 flat 5 resolves to an F sharp. And I'll put in an F natural onto this just to give a G onto it, sorry, like a flat 9th. I'll bring it back. So there's the chords I've changed. I've got E minor 7th, A 7th, D major 7th, B minor 7th, C minor 7 flat 5, pivoting, holding on to G, F sharp. I'll add that. That's just a personal thing with me, that. Back to the B minor. And I can hear it goes back onto a B 7th. So how I'm doing it, it's not magic. I'm literally taking the notes in the melody. I'm looking at what those notes are, like that. Right, okay, so I know that's part of an E minor chord, G. And if there it's there. So that's where that came from. I told you the B. I played an A bass note. I thought, oh, I could get an A 7th. Like that. Adding a 9th on there. The next chord was obviously, it was a D normally. I played a D major 7th. Then the next note ended up in a D again. So I thought I could make that part of a B minor. The G there, I thought, again, part of the minor 7 flat 5. And always resolve. There's the F sharp. To the B 7th. So, then the second time back to the E minor. Now green sleeves goes onto a G. The melody line. So there's, I know that's a G chord, onto the E7th again. So there's the E7th chord there, G. D major 7th again, to the B minor. Flat 5. Next time the melody note's in E, so what I do is the F sharp, I'll leave it open just to see how it sounds, and sounds cool. Back to the B minor. That's basically what I do, is I'll take the melody line and always try and do it when you're first starting to do so a tune you're quite familiar with. And the idea being at least you'll know when you've got it wrong. You'll go, it sounds terrible. But that's what I do and try things. Just one wee thing, we could try it, instead of that C sharp minor 7 flat 5, the harmonies work out quite well if you just put your third finger on a C sharp and the A string and your first finger on a G and play the strings open. It's actually quite nice. The open G and the B actually go well with the melody. Then the F sharp, open F sharp. That's how I got that G chord. We've talked about this many times. If that's D, that's E flat, that's E, that's F, F, all the way right up to G, and that's A. Told you I use this shape a tremendous amount. Again, because I'm just playing triads. We said it before, a chord that's just 3 strings, 3 notes, first, third, fifth, and a major chord, 1 flat and third, fifth for a minor chord. So playing in triplets and triads is really a handy thing to do. And again, with other wee dodge, we've showed you before, but it's definitely worth repeating. When I'm here, I've got 1, 2, 3 frets from my pinky from where my second finger is. That's the 5th degree of that scale, and I can just come back from that scale in a pattern. And it's a really handy thing to know if you just need to put in a couple of notes between chords. And even like as I say, if somebody hits you really quick, E flat, there's E flat there. Same thing, 3 frets up, I'm automatically on the 5th when I play it properly. And again, also works where it's relative minor. Anyhow, it's just wee add-on things like that. So that's what to do, guys. Take a tune, a very basic tune that you know really well, and just try and work out chords for it. And I get a lot of it's trial and error, a lot of it's not. And the more you do it, really, the more you get more experience with it. Like so, I know G's part of an E minor chord, so I'll try an E minor chord. Simple as that. B, try an A9. Instead of a D, I know it's D, D major 7th. Next note ends in the note D. Instead of playing a D chord, B minor's got a D in its triad, try that. Instead of playing an E minor with a G there, try what else can I use that's going to give me that note G, minor 7 flat 5 pivot. And that will always resolve, so you look for the chord it's resolving to, which is F sharp, B minor. So, basically that's how you do it, guys. Very subjective as well. Some of the things you think sound cool, other people might not think they sound cool, but it's definitely worth trying. And as I say, the old dodge I keep telling you every time, usually the way the guitar's made, where the chords are, the melody line is never very, very far away. Don't get me wrong, there are quite a few tunes I have been stuck with, and I'm going up and down here like a Duffy trying to get the melody. But most of the stuff's really quite near. Go back to your Mac the Knife, it's a really good one to find. I'm not going to go right through it again, but 13 shapes. So B flat, first finger on the B flat, and then I'm playing, there's umpteen ways to play a 13th chord. But in this position, I'm just going to the 3 frets above, and I'm barring the 3 trebles with my pinky. So B flat 13th, C 13th, D flat 13th, E flat 13th. So again, just take the tune and find the melody, you'll get it. See what I mean? There it's there, the G. I know I've got to play an F and have that G there. So I just play, there's the F, take everything off, which makes it F9 and back to the B. So I'm not going to say it's dead easy, but it's not impossible, and this is how you work at it. Anyhow, here endeth the lesson, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope some of it was some use. And I'll try and get down to some more hard work next week. Thanks for watching. Bye now.